Hello, everyone. Welcome to Allianz Joy on Win-Win Women TV. I'm glad to see you here today. Thank you for joining. I'm very excited to share some things with you today about stretching your stress away. That's the topic of today. We're going to just talk about what you can do for yourself at home. I love that always. Discuss that with you and give you my takeout menu for stress or for depression or for anxiety and give you things to do that you can physically do at home to feel a little bit better mentally and emotionally. Right, so this is what we're going to talk about today. Welcome, welcome. I am Elian Haan. I work with my patients and with my clients during my career in fitness with bodies. And slowly, my career went a little bit from fitness to overall wellness. So that means that over the duration of the years, over the duration of time, I was more interested and became more interested actually in the effect um, of exercise, right? What exercise can do for you mentally and emotionally, besides just looking good, because that's what I was always interested in, of course, when I was a lot younger. And in those days, it was all about abs and it was all about looking slim and, muscles and not being able to walk the next day. Maybe we worked out so crazy hard that the next day we couldn't move, and then we thought, oh, that's good, right? I feel it everywhere. But now, over the last decade, so to say, I've been working more with people um, on the overall well-being part of exercise and the connection of mind, body, and spirit as well, because I got to work at a facility where I work with people with addiction and in active addiction. And when you are talking about people with an alcohol or a drug or opioid addiction, then it really comes in handy if you look at the somatic approach. So overall, when I became a somatic approach practitioner and got licensed, I looked more at people to see what kind of stress they're holding in their body and where that might come from. And we all do that. We all hold our trauma, our pain, our past, our grief, and just everyday stressors in our body somewhere. And that has to do with that connection, right? We know more and more about it as well over the years. So there's more application of what we can do with our body to turn it back around. And maybe you've seen many of my shows and many times that I talk about that. What can we do to put our sexy back on, to put our body to work for us, to use our body to feel emotionally and mentally a lot better, happier, and stronger. And that is not always just an easy fix, but if you do that over time, then you will find out that when you move, that will definitely reduces muscle tension, and then thereby we are kind of reversing the cycle of tension, the cycle of tightening, and the cycle of emotional pain. So when we hold that pain that might just kind of start dwindling down, we start tightening up a little bit, and if we tighten up too much, then it becomes really a pain issue, right? So when I work with my patients on body issues, for instance, because there might be just at some point too much opioids involved, and my patients want to get away from opioid addiction, and they feel that they have to do it themselves, then we can. We have to start with less medication and try to see if we can work through that pain ourselves a little bit, because it's also a sign of the times and a lot of anxiety and a lot of instant gratification that we're looking for just to get through the things that we're feeling, right? And it is very normal. I call it a sign of the times because that's what we do. And so if you're thinking about simple and effective stretching that you might do a couple of times a day just for yourself at home or anywhere you are, maybe in the office, and if you do that, that might just relieve that stress and that physical discomfort. And that's what I want to show you today. Stretching has been shown to increase the serotonin levels. So that means that the serotonin is that hormone, right? That happy hormone that stabilizes our mood, makes me feel a little bit better, and reduces our stress. So any form of exercise will do that, and I always enhance that, right? Just if you feel a little bit stressed out, like the doctor used to say, go walk it off. Just go walk it off. Or maybe your grandma used to say, go walk it off. But for that matter, if we are doing that, that serotonin kicks in, that happy hormone kicks in, and you have a little bit more of a shield. You have a little bit more of a shield to fight with and to get through the day, even if you don't feel it, even if you didn't wake up, even if you're going through a lot of stress and anxiety at the moment. And whatever the cause of that is, that as a life coach, I will go deeper and I will go search with you of what we can do to plan ahead to get out of that. But as a physical and wellness coach, I'll help with just first the exercises that can make you feel a little bit lighter and give you a little bit of a shield, right? So that you can fight and so you can fight slowly your way out of it. And if it's really, really deep ingrained trauma and we have carried for a long time, then we might have to work a lot longer on what you can do physically. And then also, I would advise you emotionally or to look for help, right? To go through a therapist, go to a counselor, and work through the past and work through your trauma. And then when you come back, and you're in the now. That's the most important thing, that you're in the now to create that sense of awareness, to be able to slowly start planning forwards. And to get those little techniques and those little methods, those intervention techniques that you can do for yourself to just feel better. Another thing that I talk about a lot is that we always sit. Maybe not you, but a lot more than we used to. So let's just go generational, a lot more, right? We got Netflix, we got computers, we work a lot more sitting down. And luckily nowadays, we have a lot of people that are getting to those standing desks, right? I like to stand, but we have now a lot of the businesses and a lot of companies are going with a desk that you can level so you can sit for a while and then you can stand. So that is really good for you and gives you a lot more posture correction in itself, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But if you bring that all in perspective and you look at the last 50, maybe even the last 100 years, yes, we are sitting a lot more. And we're also not sitting so well because we got all those deep couches and all those wonderful chairs that we kind of sink into, and that will cause also a lot of posture problems and a lot of lower back problems. So all together, let's make that whole connection for overall well-being and try to find out if you can put daily stretching into your routine. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a few daily stretches into your routine to just increase your ROM. And ROM stands for range of motion. So, in other words, as I talk about in Tai Chi and Qigong, we kind of open up the body to let everything freely flow, right? We want blood flow to our muscles to give the right nutrients to the muscles and to that cartilage and to our system to be able to stay healthy. And so we need to open it up. And we just cramp it down. And when we have a little pain, even if that is caused by the physical symptoms of that stress, then that pain will increase with the muscles around there tightening up and kind of going into protective mode, right? And then you feel that you're everywhere just really stiff, or you have a lot of pain. Go, oh, my back, entire back. And that might be even just caused by just a tiny little bit of friction in the lower spine, right? In the lumbar spine. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden that just radiates out to your back and your muscles are going in tight mode. So we want to open it up. And if I talk about that, then when you're talking about range of motion, just making sure that you can increase the range of motion that you're talking about. For instance, if we are improving our overall well-being, let's say that the range of motion in our shoulder girdle for a 28-year-old is about 13.9%. Compare that to somebody 85 years old, their range of motion in the shoulder is 5.2%. So we're comparing 13.9% for a young lad in the shoulder with somebody who is 85-year-old having only 5.2% of range of motion. But that even can increase at any age. So don't get discouraged just because you are a senior or you are a 50 pluser. If you are doing the same exercises over and over again every day, then the overall increase of motion percentage wise will be tremendous and will really, really benefit you. So if you're thinking about just doing a couple of daily stretches a day, not just will that benefit you in increase of motion, and so being able to do a lot more, right? To have that mobility. It will also increase your energy levels physically, which ping relates emotionally immediately, right? And it promotes blood circulation, and then you have that posture that we talk about briefly, and then that lower back pain might diminish a little bit. Not always said that that will go away. Sometimes there are some more serious problems going on, but I have seen in my work over the last 15 years that a lot of pain could be helped, could decrease with physical exercise and stretching. And of course, I do that with yoga, I do that with Tai Chi, and I have seen that with my patients and with my clients and students in classes a lot over the last year. So I want to reduce that muscle tension. And of course, overall, if we have better range of motion, we have a lot more prevention for fall risk or just decreased risk of injury. You're just totally with me on that, right? So we just want to feel better, kind of do that again, working out a little bit. But it doesn't have to be always that time that you spent in the gym. It doesn't have to be that hour that you have to go. Sometimes we just don't have that. But if we wake up with just a couple of basic things, then we can improve that range of motion about 2.4 degrees a week, weekly, if you would just every day do those basic stretching exercises. And so that helps tremendously, right? And then we just kind of feel those serotonin levels daily give us more room, open us up, and that will just kind of feel a little bit easier. It all feels a little bit easier. We can take some of that stress away. I really want to do that because we want to again increase the blood flow, increase the delivery of nutrients to our muscles and to our cartilage so that we can feed the body. And as my friend usually says, Tricia Silverman always says, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? And I love that, right? Because we just really have to kind of be preventative. And we don't always want to be preventative. We don't always want to think about what if 10 years from now, I don't want to think about it. But unfortunately, my friends, I have to get a little older here. And that doesn't really get easier. We kind of fall apart. And so I can prevent a lot of that with my physical strength. Then, on top of that, I feel a lot better if I have done it daily. In my case, for instance, I grew up with back pain and due to a scoliosis. And that was going to be a lifetime handicap, right? It was going to be there forever. And in those days, we didn't really have the surgery that we can do now for a scoliosis or for your back. So I danced, started with ballet. And with that posture improvement, I really had to improve my back, and I really kind of had to send that posture and that back into a straight spinal column. And why? And while I did that and grew up with that, I kind of helped myself diminishing the pain. And so I felt a little better emotionally also to pursue a career in movement and to pursue a career in dance and fitness because I could hide that and I could actually literally work my back. And it is stressful because sometimes you feel the pain in the morning and you just don't have the time, don't want to go through it, and rather take a pain pill for it. But I promise you, I promise you that if you take a few moments, a few minutes to do this with me, then you immediately feel better. And then emotionally, yes, it might not be gone, the things that we're dealing with. It might not just, it might just be something big that we have to work through, but help yourself by decreasing your stress level, by increasing your movement. I hope that makes sense. So let's do a couple of things together that I love to do just to calm down. And if you are overall improving and you feel your body getting stronger and having a little bit more access, a little bit more range of motion, right? A little bit more movement possible, then you feel automatically that that starts kicking in and be very effective for your emotional state of mind. And nowadays, we just know more about it. We just do know more about it. So when I grew up, we kind of didn't make that connection either with our brain, with our noodles to say, oh, well, if I work out, but I don't know. Those people that were doing a lot of movement seem to be stronger emotionally and mentally. And that's where I hope to get you. So you know this. If you've been out of it, even if you've been out of it for a while, totally understandable. We all do understand that because we all go through a lot of information that's been thrown at us. But let's start, like I always do, with some grounding breathing techniques. And if you do some grounding breathing techniques, then that's what you can start with to feel a little better emotionally. Sometimes I put our hands together, like today we'll do that. We'll go in Anjali Mudra and we'll just put our hands together. And I want you to think about your posture first. Roll your shoulders back in place, right? So the shoulders have to come behind us in the pockets of our pants, I always say, even if we don't have a lot of pockets anymore. But we want to feel that we can relax the shoulder girdle. And while you relax and improve that posture, you see your heart opening up to the sky, right? That's where we want to be. Open your heart to the sky. It feels so good. And then when you feel that opening up, then just feel more supported. To my patients, I say, when you came in, you were like this. I can't handle it anymore. When you leave, I want you to be like this. Yes, world, I'm coming. That kind of feeling, right? That kind of fighter feeling that you can get back. So we're starting with a little bit of posture correction, opening up with your heart up to the sky, and kind of always level your chin. Remember that face yoga that we did? Level your chin with the floor, right? Parallel with the floor, parallel with the ground. Then place your hands together, just softly feeling as if you want to press a little tissue together. So just pressing a little tissue together between your hands. Not really strong, but just softly focusing on that pressure between our hands. I'm going to take a really deep breath in through my nose, and I'm going to release my breath, exhale, through pursed lips. Do it with me. Exhale slowly. Softly, softly press. Because if I press, and I keep that energy between my hands. Inhale, exhale. Deep inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale. Now imagine your breath going all the way over your head, down the spine, filling up your belly. And then exhale. Now imagine your shoulders dropping to the floor. And while you exhale, I want your neck to lengthen and your back to ground to the floor. the back muscles. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. Now slowly remove your hands and open them. Good, good. Now feel your shoulders. Roll them back. Just hold on to this energy a little bit here. Just roll them back. Another deep breath. Yes. All belly breath, right? And then you stretch your hands out really far sideways as if we're going to push the wall away really far sideways. Good. And then just kind of move a little bit in your upper body. So you're just going to sideways and sideways. Without the shoulders, going sideways and sideways. So first you're breathing with your hands together, then breathing with your hands open. And then softly I'm going to let my arms drop and just gently move them, still moving in that upper body into a little spinal twist, as we call this. A little spinal twist here. Yes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of release my heel. So my heel is coming up a little bit. I'm just going to go into that motion. Just feeling good. And then shake your hands out. Just make a big shake, right? Move all over your body, maybe even shaking it out. Just letting it go. Good. And then back into that posture. And now just with your hands down, feel your shoulders relax again. Remember my little alien bird on your shoulder? Relax your shoulders, relax your shoulders. Yes, into your ear the whole day. Relax your shoulders, yes. So this is really important because if we feel sometimes when we inhale, and this is normal, sometimes when you inhale, you have a tendency of bringing your shoulders up and not disconnecting the shoulders from your belly area. Sometimes what helps with my clients or my patients is to put your hands on your belly. So if we put our hands on our belly, let's do that. Now it's easier to breathe in to your hands. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right? So when you exhale, you kind of feel that let go and your belly is slowly deflating, right? Inflate, deflate. So instead of this, if you feel that you still have tension in your shoulders, take your hands on your belly and just breathe in deep down into the lower body, right? Just from right below your rib cage into your lower belly, and you can feel that when you put your hands on it. So the grounding exercises are really important to improve your posture, open your heart, and relax the shoulders. That's why we keep a lot of tension in our shoulders. So from here, we have done some back twists, right? It feels really good. And now we're going to only do upper body today. Now we're going to go take a big stretch right here. Now also, here again, try not to raise your shoulders up, but keep them down while your hands are together. My hands are towards each other, right there, and they're together. And my shoulders are coming up and down a couple of times. Let's just practice that. Just feel that into the shoulders as well. Up and down, right? And now you want to keep them down. So put those shoulders back in the pockets of your pants. And you go really slowly sideways. You feel a huge stretch over the side of your body. Take it all the way back. And go all the way to the other side. Good. Inhale. Always just starting with 15 seconds or 1 or 2 breaths, and then you bring it back up into doing the same thing for about 30 seconds. So we wake up with this, right? Take it all the way down. Some people find it easier just to take their hands together and hold them or fold your hands, however you want to do that. Just go make a couple stretches sideways. Good. So even if your hands are together, it doesn't matter, right? I always say, wherever you are, we all do it slightly different. So this is a really good morning stretch to get your spine moving and to keep going into those side stretches. Then from here on, the next one, I just want you to open your hands nice and wide. And from here on, just lift your upper body and go a little bit back with your upper body. Yes. And now what I really would like to say, or to point out, is that you keep your head from falling backwards. Because we got a lot of nerve stuff going on there in the back of our neck, right? So you don't want to do that fall back head there. We don't want to go there. So we just have our hands up. It's kind of like a yay, right? It's still a really big super stretch into the air with your heart up to the sky, all the way there. But I kind of keep my head. If I would have this hand up, I keep my head between my arms or in alignment with my spine. So what we call this is a back extension from the hips, right? A spinal extension. So we're going into that upper body stretch. You feel your chest expanding a little bit. And again, I want you to try just for 15 seconds, then go to 30 seconds, and then go to 60 seconds just to try to get that big stretch, right? Our hands are up, shoulders are purposely down, and then we go into the big wide stretch. Now from there on, I want you to take your hands down behind you. Do it again with your hands behind you, all the way, kind of squeezing the shoulder blades together here, squeezing the shoulders together. And then release and relax. And here we go, maybe your second set, right? Without the shoulders, a little bit back into the back bend. Inhale, take it down. Exhale. And relax. And then roll your shoulders. Very good. Now I got a huge stretch out of it already, right? So I have this big breath in. I got one here. I got my twist, my wide open twist, kind of an airplane mode, right? I got my relaxed twist into my back. I got a big breath in right here. I got a sideways, side bend, right? All the way, half moon pose, all the way. Kind of modified here. And all the way open into this nice wide inhale. Expansion in the chest and into the back, right? That's what you really want to do. If you do that every day, a couple of times with me, then you feel so good. And we'll add on some of those stretches next week that you can do for yourself at home. Yes, start with breathing, grounding, maybe your hands on your belly. Deep breath in. All the time, check your shoulders. Check your shoulders. And take it into a spinal twist from here. And then relax your arms and just let them fall around your hips. Then open them up to the sky and open your heart to the sky. And just try to feel how you can breathe through those big stretches, just to open up the entire upper body. And we're running out of time, so I have to add some more next week. Yes, I love to do this stuff with you. I hope you got so much out of it today, and I hope you will just add that to your daily routine. Simple, effective, definitely results, right? My words, my letters, SER. Simple, effective, definitely results. We all just have to do it. And then we just feel so much better. Stress gone, worries gone, and we're just into the now for the moment. Thank you so much for watching Win-Win Women TV. Elian's Joy. Thank you for being with me today. If you want to find out a lot more, it's all on my website. YouTube videos, book release, and how to reach out to me to get some of these sessions together. Reach out, definitely, www.elianhaan.com, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching.